Welcome to Schweizerdeutsch Tutor, Schweizerdeutsch für Anfänger. In today's video, we are going to talk about regular verbs in the Präsens, the present simple. We use the Präsens to talk about actions in the present. Like in English and High German, there are regular and irregular verbs in the present simple tense. Let's talk about regular verbs. The procedure is the same in Swiss German as in High German. That means we take a regular verb in the basic form, for example, mache, to make. Then we have to identify the verb stem by deleting the last e. This gives us the verb stem mach. Now, in the next step, we need to add the correct ending to the verb stem. The verb ending depends on the personal pronoun we want to use. The ending of the first person singular is e. Ich mache. The second person, sch. Du machst. Third person, t. sie, es macht. The plural forms all have the same ending, ed. Mir machet. Ihr machet. Sie machet. The fact that the plural forms are identical makes it easier to speak, but can be challenging when it comes to listening. If a verb has a phonetically problematic verb stem ending, the added endings are adapted slightly. A phonetically problematic verb stem ending occurs when the stem ends in t, s, sch, or z. Let's take the example warte, to wait. We now have the verb stem wart and need to add the correct endings. In the first person singular, that's not a problem. Ich warte. In the second person singular, it becomes more difficult. If we directly add the normal ending sch, the pronunciation is a bit more challenging. Du wartst. In this situation, we therefore add an additional e between the verb stem and the verb ending. Now we can pronounce the verb more comfortably. Du wartest. In the third person singular, we face the same problem. If we try to add the normal ending t directly, the correct pronunciation is almost impossible. Therefore, in this case, we add an additional e between the verb stem and the verb ending. Sie, es wartet. Since the plural verb ending ed begins with a vowel, the pronunciation is not a problem, and we can use the normal verb endings. Mir wartet. Ihr wartet. Sie wartet. So we can see that the problematic verb endings are only a problem in the second and third person singular. In these forms, we therefore add an additional e or e respectively. Du wartest. Sie, es wartet. With some verbs, the Swiss add these additional letters, although it would not be phonetically necessary. For example, with the verb frage, to ask. Ich frage. Du fragst. Sie, es fragt. Wir fragen. Ihr fröget. Sie fröget. The third person singular can be pronounced comfortably with or without the E. Frögt. Fröget. This only happens with some special verbs and does not follow a recognizable pattern. Both forms are therefore considered correct. To simplify things, we can ignore these special verbs at the beginning and only make the special adaptation for phonetically problematic verb stem endings. You can find a more detailed explanation and a long list of regular verbs sorted into 4 different conjugation categories in our beginner's ebook Zurich für Anfänger. Let's summarize. If we want to conjugate a regular verb, we must first determine the verb stem. We do this by deleting the last E of the infinitive. Then we add the correct endings to the word stem. Be careful when the verb stem ends in T, S, SCH, or Z. In this case, we add an additional E for the second and E for the third person singular. In this way, we conjugate all regular verbs in the present tense and pronounce them correctly. If you want to practice, you can find many different exercises related to the Präsens in our beginner's ebook or download our language learning app from the App Store or Google Play. As a quick homework, try to conjugate the following verbs. Fahren, reden, Poste. Write us your solution as a comment under this video for a chance to win 30 minutes of personalized tutoring on Schweizerdeutsch-tutor.com. The winners will be announced at the end of each month. Next week, we are going to talk about the Präsens again, but then for irregular verbs. So stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. This is very helpful for small channels as it helps to ensure that YouTube suggests the video to more users. Merci vielmals, macht's gut und bis zum nächsten Mal mit Schweizerdeutsch Tutor.